Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of Let Them See Your Mind. It's your girl, LD Marie, and we are back. Thank you so much for watching. Today, we're going to talk about the Lizzo tell-all interview with Keke Palmer. Y'all, if y'all have been living under a rock in 2023, then y'all knew that there was a splash that was made with Lizzo's 3 ex-dancers coming out and saying that there's been threats of physical assault, also sexual assault, hostile work environment, and body shaming. And it was a full blast thing where everybody was talking about it in relation to this situation. So we're going to dive into her tell all. So sit back, relax, let's go. Did y'all know that I was a Lizzo fan? Because, like, girl, Lizzo, right there. I even went to her show back in March of 2023 with Lil Sis Tori. And so we had a ball because we went to Manchester and we went to go see her show. I would say that we're a part of this whole little mess because it was a part of the European leg that these 3 ex-dancers were on. But that's digress. So let's give you a little background of this story. So this story came out in 2023 after Lizzo ended her tour, and it came out that these 3 ex-dancers were suing Lizzo, and they were also suing her captain, her dance captain, her production team, and Lizzo herself in regards to allegations of sexual harassment, assault, hostile work environment, body shaming. This was huge headlines, especially for a person like Lizzo that promoted self body image and was awareness, and she was saying, "Oh, I'm here for the big girls." So this was a shock to a lot of people that were Lizzo fans, where it's just like, "Oh my God!" Not even after these allegations came out with these 3 dancers, there were several more allegations that came out through other people that worked with Lizzo, citing some of the similar things as hostile work environment and saying the singer was very negative and it created a negative environment with them. And so Lizzo now has decided, after a year and a half, she took a break, she stepped away from the spotlight, and she's come back center stage to Baby It's Keke Palmer, the podcast show, and started talking about what her version of the situation was. At that time when she did the podcast interview, she disclosed to Keke that she has been dismissed. All the charges against her have been dismissed. And I don't think that's shocking for folks, for people that actually read the complaint and the legal documents and everything else. A lot of it was they were reaching, like gone down in the barrel, reaching to say that it was sexual assault, it was physical assault, it was hostile work. They were literally reaching. And some of the things that you would think in reading the documentation, because I read the documentation when it first came out, a lot of it was like, okay, well, you could probably see it could happen. But I don't think that, me being a Lizzo fan, I don't think this has actually turned out the way it actually was sounding. Especially, Lizzo did address one of the incidents with the banana bar. I'm pretty sure the banana bar has gotten a lot more publicity than after the whole scandal with Lizzo. They probably got more publicity than anything before. And what she was saying, she never invited these girls out. She said, "Oh, well, I'm going by myself, having a good time." She got a call. They were like, "Oh, well, what are you doing?" "I'm at the banana bar." They're like, "Oh, okay, we're at a birthday dinner." And she was like, "Oh, well, if y'all don't have nothing to do, y'all can roll through here." And she did a blanket invite. She didn't know who was in the group, and what was told in the court documents compared to what she said. It's like, this was 2 completely separate things. Whereas in the court version, it was saying that they were being bullied into going to this bar and pressured into doing certain things that they didn't want to do. Whereas Lizzo was saying, like, "Nah, fam, like, I didn't even low-key invite them. It was a blanket invitation of who all was there." In reflecting back in the whole situation, which Lizzo has done, and I think Lizzo has done it for the last year and a half, she reflected and understood why certain artists had a separate relationship with the people that were employed. And I think that was very on point for her to have, because she talked about throughout the interview that all the people that she worked with, or all the people that she was going into the business with, she hired her friends. She was like, oh, well, these are my friends and we all gonna come up together. But I think the real lesson came out when all the situation come about. Not everybody your friend. First of all, you need to have boundaries, as you're the boss and these are the people that you employ. And that's it. It's not like happy-go-lucky, blah, blah, blah. And I think that was a very hard lesson for her to learn. I'm saying this in relation to whether these charges have been dismissed. So whatever the ex-dancers have been feeling, they're not going to get anything from Lizzo herself. They may be getting something from the dance captain or from the production company, but those cases are still going on. She even quoted within the interview that we're still fighting for those cases because everything was nonsense. They were reaching. And when it comes to harassment is from perception. And I'm not going to say that these 3 dancers were not harassed. What I am going to say is that perception is always key. And when you're in a situation, you don't know how the other person feels. Same thing with anybody that's in like a group or anything like that. When you're surrounded by somebody that is like, oh my God, they're so great, and you want to make sure that you're doing everything possible, and you'll let go little stuff just because, and then when you think back on it, and you be like, this is something that I know I shouldn't have done. Same thing. It's same thing in relationships or domestic violence or anything like that. Like, you allow certain things to happen, or you allow to experience yourself, and you keep it to yourself, even though technically it may not feel like harassment for you, or may not feel like domestic violence for you. Perceived by someone else, it could be. So perception is really key. And I think Lizzo did a great job within this interview to understanding, like, I'm not going to say I'm the victim, but I have been affected by this. And the people that I thought who were in my corner, I found out very quickly they're really not. And it affected me dearly. And now I have a negative relationship with the internet, which that could be perfectly understandable. When the people go so quick to change who you are or what you're about by one decision or by one thing somebody else does, that's the devil in itself when it comes to social media. One day you can be great and on top. The next day, people can be tearing you down and calling you names and making threats and those different types of things. That is the unfortunate reality that when it comes to social media. And sometimes you have to know how to compartmentalize of people that literally just be online and talking about people the entire time, and they're only doing it whether it be on your keyboard or like me on camera. But I would say this, especially to the 3 dancers that came forward. I think they're brave for coming forward on the things that they feel that they've experienced. I also believe that Lizzo was brave in coming forward on her version of the truth. We don't know what actually happened. We just know in the court of law, Lizzo has been dismissed from all of these charges. And we know that the only thing that has happened is between what they've experienced and what Lizzo's experienced and what everybody else has experienced. And I think on both sides, hurt people. And it is something that both parties will never actually truly get past. Because ultimately, it hurts Lizzo's career. She may get back on top, but it also, I wouldn't say caused death to the 3 dancers, but it just makes another stink to their name to be like, oh, well, oh, you're the dancer that dance for Lizzo. Oh, what are you about? What are you this and that? Never. It's that stink or that cliche or that, I'm trying to find the right word, that notion that is attached to your name. And it's the same thing that's going to be attached to Lizzo's name. It's going to go on with her fame. I think the person that has truly gone beyond their notion, but it still brings up, is Chris Brown. Like, he's still making records. He's still selling out concerts, everything else. But there's still always the notion of, oh, he was a woman beater. He beat up Rihanna. And everybody's going to only remember him for that particular moment when he was a kid and gone from there, when he beat up Rihanna, or when he treated Karrueche bad when he grew up. And I think those notions will always stay with a certain person. Your mistakes always stay with a certain person. My own mistakes will stay with me. When somebody brings them in my face, it'll just be like, oh. And then you got to circle back and pedal back and be like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have done it at that stage. But hey, I did it. I learned from it and I moved on. And I think that's what Lizzo is doing at this point now, that she has learned from this experience. She now has better boundaries. She even said that, oh, the people I work for have no idea of how I act in a bar now. So I think that's a big boundary for her to make. And she needs to continue on with that and know that not everybody is your friend. Even though the music that Lizzo creates is joyous and is inviting. She said her music is about pulling yourself up after the fact that you've been hurt, and you make your hair done, your nails done, and you make me feel good. That part. So, and I want Lizzo to come back and get her music. She also said during that time when she was on break, she was in the studio and she made a lot of angry songs. And low key, as a Lizzo fan, I want to hear those songs. I want to hear them. I think everybody would love to hear those, but I think she would also get a lot of trouble if she posted some of those songs, which is fair. But at the end of the day, I can't wait. She already said that she's having a new album coming out, and I'm so happy about it, and I hope it'll be great. My favorite album by her is 'Cause I Love You Too. See? 'Cause I Love You. That is my favorite album. But ultimately, it's truly, truly, truly eye-opening awakening when it comes to being the celebrity status that she is. And I think the moment when her and Keke were in agreements and becoming emotional with each other at the fact that sometimes you don't even know who you can trust, or sometimes it just be lonely because you can't act up the way that you want to act up, but you also want to keep your private life, and having your private life out there when sometimes you can't even really respond. It's very hurtful. And the reactions that people come and get you are very hurtful. And that's where that kind of stores in. And I think a lot of people don't understand the dark side of social media when it comes to people coming in and doing those negative comments. It affects me sometimes. And I'm pretty sure it affects all YouTube creators, small creators, large creators. And if the negative always somewhat affects you. But we also have to know that we are bigger and stronger than the person behind the keyboard or behind the camera. And we can go ahead and have a big smile on our face and look good as hell doing it. I want to thank you so much for watching this episode and tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out some of the videos that's just popped up on your screen. Or if you're listening to this audio podcast right now, just check out some of my other episodes that's on the page. I have 4 seasons worth of episodes, y'all. Like, come on now. 3 seasons are video. 1 season is audio. So y'all check all of them out and share with your neighbors. Share with everybody, because we can all talk and just have real authentic conversation with each other. All right? Till next time, this is your girl, LD Marie, and we are out.